Miami Vice Jesse. Could you please explain what a struggle session is and why it is important to the communists? These are fascinating things. They happen differently today, but they still very much happen today. The communist has used these extensively. Mao used them all the time. Pol Pot used them all the time. And here's what a struggle session is. And they can take different forms. I mean, it can get different levels of violence. Sometimes a fairly benign version of a struggle session would be if you are a member of the Communist Party or even a normal citizen and you step out of line a little, they will gather people together, a big group, and they will call you in front of the group. You are forced to do this, and they will scream at you about your sins. You will have to acknowledge your sins, and sometimes, this is the most benign version, sometimes it just comes with a little bit of a beating. Maybe they whip you a couple times in front of other people. That's a benign version of a struggle session. They got way more extreme than that lots of the time. They became essentially productions. Guys like Mao, he had professionals who would administer these things. You would go around and do it, and they would drag people. You were invited to attend. Let's say you're in a little village in China. You were, quote, invited to attend, but you need to attend. Trust me. You are dragged out of your home if you're the one who's about to be struggle sessioned. You are pulled up, usually on a stage, most definitely elevated. A huge crowd, everyone they can get in the area, will surround you. And then, again, your sins are read aloud. This oftentimes is accompanied by torture, terrible, terrible torture, you name it, walking on broken glass. I mean, they did the worst things you could possibly imagine. Lots of times, the, quote, sins you committed were written on some sort of a board, and that was they would hang that around your neck. And oftentimes, they would murder you. They would murder you. Now, what is the point of the struggle session? Is the struggle session for the person who, quote, committed the sins? Of course not. The struggle session is for everyone else who's watching it. It is designed to intimidate. That is the point of it. They tear somebody apart. Sometimes, by the way, the person who, quote, committed the sins didn't even do anything wrong. They just wanted to make an example of someone in that area so everyone else in that area would know this is what happens when you complain about your family starving to death. The communists take that as an insult. Look at what just happened to Chin. Chin just got tortured to death. He's still hanging on the stage. I don't want that to happen to me. So, today, it takes a bit of a different form. Today, it's more online, although it does happen in person when they do town halls and such. But Democrats, communists, ruthlessly enforce the things they want enforced. Language and everything else. They treat other Democrats like garbage. The millisecond you step out of line, even a little bit, you are so savaged by your fellow communists, oftentimes publicly, that no Democrat wants to step out of line. You do understand that there are Democrats, elected Democrats in this country, who are most definitely still moderates at heart. You realize that? But none of them can act that way. None of them can speak that way, because the second you try to do so, they just rip you to shreds. I hate John Fetterman, and I will never appreciate the right slobbering all over John Fetterman, but he's actually a wonderful example of this. Fetterman's a big pro-Israel guy, and you know Democrats hate Israel now. It's all free Palestine, I love terrorists, all that other weird crap. But Fetterman didn't go along with that. I mean, I guess I have to give him some credit for that. I still don't like the guy. He still votes against us every time. But Fetterman never went along with that. He said, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Fetterman, if you can go watch videos of it, Fetterman routinely gets harassed, protested. They're screaming things at him wherever he goes. Other Democrats are doing it. Why? It's a struggle session. They're trying to whip him back into line. No. You're not allowed to say anything outside of what we have decided. Remember that communist language and communist issues, I'll put it that way. Meaning, if you're a Democrat and you don't want men in women's sports, you don't want this tranny stuff in women's sports, that is not allowed. There is a list of rules. We have this take on this issue. This is what we believe about abortion. Kill them all. Let God sort them out. This is what we believe about the border. It should be open. Everyone should come here and no one should be deported. This is what we believe about trannies, that trannies should be everywhere and everything. And you're not allowed. You're not allowed to step out of that. And if you do, they will rip you to shreds as an example to anyone else who might think about it. Remember, Chris, grab that if you can find it. When Joe Biden gave that State of the Union address and said illegal immigrant, I think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene was harassing him about something during the State of the Union address, and he actually called an illegal. Now, that's the most benign thing in the history of the world, calling an illegal. That's what they are. It doesn't matter if you can't find it, Chris, but he called him an illegal. Joe Biden was the president of the United States of America when he called that person an illegal. Joe Biden immediately got such a vicious backlash. Oh, go ahead, Chris, go ahead.
During your response to her heckling of you, you used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between...
Immediately, he had to run to the news and apologize. Hey, I shouldn't have said... That was the guy who was supposedly at the top of the Democrat Party. That's what struggle sessions are. And again, remember, the purpose of them is to intimidate everybody into only saying what is approved, never stepping out of line. They love struggle sessions. They have used them endlessly. Pol Pot did them all the freaking time.